Hi, I'm Phil. I'm here to share with you what it's like living with end-stage renal failure. So one of my friends started dialysis and on the transplant list a good few months before I started. And a few weeks ago, I texted her and asked if she and her husband were free so that we'd come around and say hi at the weekend. And it turned out she had family staying, so that wasn't possible. Now, I didn't hear back from her for a couple of weeks, and that's fine. Um, Now, my friend works in paid employment. She's doing dialysis 3 times a week, and her kidneys are failing. And on top of that, she had family staying. Um, all of those things, when you're in this medical condition, are very tiring. So, if you are watching this and you've got a friend or a loved one who's in an end stage renal failure or some other chronic condition, uh, don't take it personally if they take a while to get back to you, or if they're unable to do things with you that they had planned to do, because there's only so much energy to go around. Anyhow, when my friend did get back to me a couple of weeks later, I happened to be on my computer, which is attached to my phone. So the text message came up on the screen at the bottom. I sort of glanced at it and scanned it to see if it was something I needed to deal with straight away or come back to. So I saw it was from this person, and 2 words in the middle of the body of the text caught my attention, and they were the call. Now, the call can mean many things to many people, but for a person who's waiting for an organ transplant, the call, there's only one call that gets called the call. And so I obviously then paid a lot more attention to the rest of the text. And my friend was now a little over 2 weeks post-transplant. Now, obviously, I'm absolutely thrilled for my friend. She doesn't have to do dialysis 3 times a week anymore. And her diet is much less restricted than it used to be. But it's not just that's not the only thing that came out of finding she had the transplant or learning she had a transplant. Um, when you're on a waiting list for a transplant, it's kind of like buying a lotto ticket every week. You know someone's going to win somewhere, but there's no real proof of it until it happens. So when someone gets the transplant, it's like, oh, it's not just a dream. It's not just a pie in the sky. It really is possible for me to get a transplant. Now, my friend's the second person I know of who I've met in the dialysis unit, related to the dialysis unit, who's had a transplant. So it's actually really encouraging for me, still waiting to see if this ever happens. So great news for my friend, but also encouraging news for me. If you are interested in more insight into what it's like to live with end-stage renal failure, check out my channel.